From the standpoint of a particle physicist and as a believer, what can you tell me about the structure of reality?
Gosh. Well, a good way of starting an explanation, particularly in regard to the science and theology issue, is what happens when I go into schools. And I give talks often to school children. And they ask me, how can I be a priest and believe in the Big Bang? And I say, we invented it. Well, what does the Big Bang tell us about the structure of reality? Basically, that there's a kind of fruitful simplicity at the start of everything. The universe begins simple, but with an extraordinary potential. And then gradually it's like a flower blooming. It's not like an explosion, which is a chaotic thing. Gradually, the different light is transmuted or becomes particles, and then particles combine and create atoms, and then you get atoms cooking in stars to create the various different elements and so on. And there's a kind of wonderful story about all this, a wonderful narrative, that out of this initial simplicity, but with a rich potential, comes this extraordinarily complex and beautiful universe.
What is the contribution of particle physics to understanding that?
With regard to particle physics specifically, we recreate the conditions of the Big Bang. And what happens is that some of the forces which look very different in everyday life are suddenly seen to be much more closely related in that primeval state than they are in everyday terms today. That we can recover some of the underlying simplicity, that rich simplicity of the beginning of the cosmos.
How does that inform your theological understanding?
I don't think there are direct theological implications, but there's a narrative here which ties in very well with the grand theological narrative we've been using for nearly 2,000 years, that the universe has order and is the work of a loving creator. And therefore, we expect to find order, which we do find, albeit at a level our minds find difficult to grasp. And we find that the many different phenomena, which seem unconnected in everyday life, have an underlying unity. So I think there is it's like a kind of consonance of the narrative. I wouldn't like to go further than that.
يوم نطوي السماء كطي السجل للكتب كما بدأنا أول خلق نعيده وعدا علينا إنا كنا فاعلين.